To all the faithful in the building, and salute to the patrons. Before I get started with this review, I want to go ahead and take this opportunity to give a huge shout out to longtime OAW patron Double O Soldier. Salute to you, fam. Thanks again. This is yet again another film request from Double O Soldier. And if you all have a request for a film that you would all like to see me review right here on OAW Entertainment, become a patron at patreon.com/OAW. And with that being said, this is my review of Netflix's The Perfection. Let's get it started.
Are you not entertained?
Hang on a sec. We got loop. We got loop. All right, let's try that again.
Are you not?
Nope. Damn it. All right, we're back on. Sorry about that. Technical snafu, right? Technical snafu. We're back on. All right, let's do this one more time.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? Is this not why you were here?
Don't even act like y'all weren't entertained by that. That was funny. Don't even act like you weren't. That was funny. Let's be real. That was funny. That was hilarious, right? I bet you it was. I bet you we all had a big laugh from that one, right? All had a big laugh from that one. Yeah, no, yeah. I know. It was embarrassing. It was embarrassing. All right. Anyway, but we're back on it. We're back on it. We snap back. That's what we do, baby. We snap back. That's what we do, baby. That's what we do. All right. So, yes, this is going to be my review of Netflix's The Perfection. So what I'm going to do is, just like in my previous reviews, I'm going to give you all a spoiler-free portion, and then the rest will be spoiler-filled. I'll also start off by giving you all a brief synopsis of the film, and then I'll share my spoiler-free thoughts, and then we'll get into the more in-depth discussion on the spoiler side. And unfortunately, this is one of those movies where the spoiler-free portion is going to be pretty brief. And I'll explain in a minute. So let's go ahead and kick off with the discussion. The description. For the description, guys, I'm just going to go ahead and once again just read from my description box. So feel free, take this time to read along with me in the description box below. So, okay, so The Perfection is the 2018, I believe, is when it was actually shot. But the 2019 psychological horror thriller film starring Allison Williams, Logan Browning, and Steven Weber. The film was directed by Richard Shepard, written by Shepard, Nicole Snyder, and Eric C. Charmelo, and it was released by Netflix. And a brief synopsis, very, very brief synopsis of the film is: a troubled musical prodigy and a new star pupil embark down a sinister path. Okay, let's talk about that real quick. The reason why that synopsis is as brief as it is because The Perfection is one of, like I say, it's a psychological horror film, right? And it's one of the ones where the surprise is really the reason to watch. All right. So what I mean by that is, why is my picture out of focus? Like, why is it off? Okay. What I mean by that is the fact that this is one of those films where it's like you want, like, the how do I put this? It's about the experience. That's the main takeaway from this film, is the viewing experience. And it's one of those films where unless you just really fall in love with it, you probably won't rewatch it again. You'll probably show it to all your friends. If you liked it, you'll probably show it to all your friends, especially if they haven't seen it, because the whole point is it's the initial viewing experience, right? Because it is one of those films. It does a lot of misdirection. right? It does a lot of misdirection. It does a lot of like last minute reveals. And the whole point is to keep you guessing, to keep you guessing, to keep you on your toes, to keep you on the edge of your seat, trying to figure out what's really going on, right? So, because, like I said, because of the nature of this film, my spoiler free portion is going to be somewhat limited. But I can, I'll try my best to discuss it, to at least see if I can intrigue you all and give you all enough information to make an educated opinion on whether or not you want to check out the film or not. Because as I said, it is on Netflix. You guys can check it out right now. If I do my job right, you guys should be able to get a sense of whether or not you want to, just from the spoiler free portion. All right. Oh, and real quick, we do got a $5 super chat from Lauren Francisco 31. Oh, no comment attached. Thanks so much. Lauren Francisco, if you want to drop me a comment, just go ahead and do it. I will guarantee to get to your comment or your question um before the end of the stream. Just so you guys know, I am going to be doing questions at the end of the stream, but I'm only going to be doing the ones related to the film, and of course super chats get top priority. All right. And let me actually get my screen share back on, because I don't know what happened with that. It kind of glitched. It kind of glitched. Okay, yes, now we can see the whole thing. Perfect. Cool, sweet. All right, so yeah, let's talk about the perfection. All right, so um, as I mentioned before, that really brief synopsis, like I say, it's set up like that because it's trying not to give away too much information. I can actually give you guys more information without spoiling anything. So essentially, what the perfection is the story of, like I said, a musical prodigy named Charlotte, right? Played by Allison Williams. And actually she's a celloist, a cellist, a cellist. She plays the cello. She's a former musical prodigy, because we discover in the film that she was once the top student at this private elitist musical academy, and she had to leave school in order to take care of her ailing mother. So the film kicks off immediately after the passing of her mother, where she decides to go ahead and to revisit the school. So she takes a trip to Hong Kong, where the school is doing a performance with their new star pupil, Lizzie. So essentially, Charlotte kind of she meets back up with her old mentors. She meets Lizzie for the first time, and the two sort of hit it off, become friends and whatnot. But over the course of the film, more and more is revealed about Charlotte's time at the academy. We learn that she went through some somewhat traumatic experiences, which is what we were led to believe it was her ailing mother. We find out that it was actually those experiences along with her ailing mother that kind of went into her decision to eventually leave the school. So the course of the film is really Charlotte's attempt to face those past traumas, to revisit some of the people responsible for them. And there's a question throughout the film about what Lizzie's role is now that she's the new star at the school, what her role is in Charlotte's journey to sort of rectify those things. And of course, because it's a horror film, let's not forget that it's a horror film. We find out slowly over time that yeah, it was some pretty gruesome stuff. It was some pretty gruesome stuff, and this film is one of the ones where it likes to up the ante. So once one thing is revealed, right, and we're like, "Ooh, that was really bad," then it has to top it, and then it has to top it, and then it has to top it, and it has to top it. And because the film is focused on Charlotte's past, right, it's sort of like an onion peeling effect. Like we peel off a layer, and the more we peel off, the more gruesome the film gets, to where eventually we end up down this rabbit hole, um to the point where I can't, like, it is a horror movie. I can definitely say um it has some traditional tropes, some conventional traits that I do think qualify it as a standalone horror film. It does that. It does that. Um, but like I said, it depends on your type of horror. So we do have a contemporary setting because it takes place in present day. And I will say this before I get into the spoil, because I'm going to do like a trigger warning alert before I get into the spoiler portion. I will say I'll just let you guys know in the non-spoiler portion. I do find it odd. Well, not odd, but the timing, the timing of this review and the timing of the request even. Some people might consider it just in poor taste right now because there is a virus in China in the film. So I'm just throwing that out there now. So if you guys are depleted with COVID coverage, maybe you might not want. It might bother you. It might bother you because that is a thing in this film. At least for the first like 15 minutes of it. 15 minutes, 10 minutes. It's at the very start of the film because it's a place setting to let us know like, oh, this is a current event going on in the world at the time of the story. But like I say, it's only in there for like the first 10 to 15 minutes. If that, doesn't kick off any triggers or anything for you and you can get past that part, okay, by all means, proceed. That's the only real like thing I'll mention in the non-spoiler part. But outside of that, man, I will say if you have a queasy stomach, maybe this is not your picture. Not as I mean, this isn't as graphic as like Saw. So if you can handle Saw, you can handle this. If you can't, then I probably wouldn't try your luck with this one. There is a lot of implied violence in it. So it's not gruesome to the point of just outright pornography, but it's kind of rough. It's kind of rough. So just keep that in mind too. It's kind of rough. Uh, but I will say this. Oh, and you know what? There was another somewhat, I guess you could say it's somewhat of a recent event. Um, because this was from a couple of years ago. And I'll mention it in the spoiler portion. I'm not going to mention it in the spoiler free portion because if I do, it's going to give it away. I'll mention it in the spoiler portion because there was an event from 20. Actually, I think it might have been as recent as 2018. But yeah, there was another event that this movie similar situation. But I'll get into more detail about that later on. Okay, so let's talk about the writing. Let's talk about the writing. Writing wise, um, the film is fine. I did have some reservations going through it, but in hindsight, not as bad as it could have been. I'm gonna be real with you guys because of the subject matter in this film. This was actually a movie I was thinking I would not review for the channel. For real, I kid you not. Like that was a thing. I was like, you know what? I know it was requested. I don't mind, taking on another request. Hell, dude, I might even refund this one. Because of the subject matter. But it turned out it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to get. Because like I said, the film keeps you guessing. So it wasn't that bad. In terms of the writing wise, it actually does kind of hold up. The film's a little tight. It's tighter than I thought it would be because I was like, you know what, dude, with some of the material you guys are working with, people tend to be sloppy. Nah, the film's actually a little bit tighter than that. It's a little bit better done than I thought it was going to be. So I'm like, all right, I see. Here's the other thing too. There is a level of absurdity in this movie But guess what? Here's the thing about that though. While you're watching this movie, you might think it's like, you know what, dude? It's like that is so absurd. There's no way that would actually happen. Like there's no way, this person would be able to pull that off, or that this person would be able to get away with this. Like there's no way for me to be able to suspend my disbelief, because like that's so unpractical, right? But here's the thing though. The absurdity of the film is also matched by absurd circumstances. So when you take that in, like, dude, if you start thinking about this film, like the story, what happens within the course of it realistically, it's not going to make any sense. It's going to be so outlandish, right? Until you start getting the reveals. And when you start getting the reveals, then it start making sense. So that's why I said the film is actually written a little bit more clever. It's actually written smarter than I wanted to give it initial credit for, because that's what I did. I'm like, dude, that doesn't make any sense. There's no way. And then it's like, oh, that's why. Okay. So I'll give the film that credit. The other thing about that too is, remember when I said it keeps you guessing? So here's the thing. I already told y'all this is a psychological thriller, right? But by virtue of that, leave in the comments below if you guys decide after I'm finished with the spoiler-free portion to hop off and go check this film out, come back, right? Let me know if you guys tried to figure out what type of horror it was. Because here's the thing about that. Horror is a very broad genre. Within it are multiple subgenres, and psychological thriller is a subgenre. But just because a film is a psychological thriller doesn't mean that it does not qualify as another subgenre of horror as well, right? So I caught myself trying to figure out exactly what type of horror film this was going to be. And the film is good at throwing you off, because at one point you think, oh, okay, we're doing a psychological thriller based off of pharmaceuticals, right? Because remember what I mentioned about the virus thing? That's another thing with the virus. You might think, oh, we're doing zombie apocalypse, pandemic type, right? And then at one part you think it might be a monster movie. Then at one point you think it might be a serial killer movie. And then at another point, so I'm not going to tell you which one is actually right, because guess what? Just because it's psychological horror don't mean that it isn't multifaceted, right? All of those examples I just gave you out, guess what? Some of them might be right. Some of them might actually be wrong. I'm going to let you guys try to figure out which one is which. And that's another credit to the film's writing. Yes, it throws you off of what you would normally expect. Yes, it does. Give it credit for that. So there you go. That's pretty much all I really got to say about the writing. Yeah, that's pretty much it. It's smarter than I thought, keeps you on your toes, multi-layered. Okay, cool, fine. Oh, but I'll give it to, okay, how about this? One last comment about the writing. It's multi-layered, but it's not necessarily nuanced. This is what I mean by that. This doesn't do anything new, and it doesn't do anything that you've never seen before. And I would even argue that it doesn't do anything that you've never seen before in a way that you've never seen it done. But what I will say is this. When it's trying to throw you off, it's really good. When you find out what the story is actually about, it's so basic, but it doesn't lose itself in its foundation. So when you find out what's actually going on, it's a pretty basic story, but it sticks to the basic story and it adheres to the KISS method, which is keep it simple, stupid. When you find out what's really going on, that's when the KISS method kicks in. And at that point, you kind of appreciate just how, like, oh, this is what the story is really about. Okay, you know what? I'm actually glad that it wasn't what I thought it was going to be about, because this actually serves for a better story. Right. All right. We cool on that. We cool on that. Wow, we're actually able to hit 20 minutes just spoiler free. I actually okay. All right, cool. I'm kind of impressed by that. Technical snafu aside, we're not doing bad. All right. So real quick, because I don't want to make the spoiler free portion too long. Let's talk about the actors. Allison Williams is the star of this. Once again, she plays Charlotte. You all might remember her from Get Out. She was I forget her character's name in Get Out, but she was the girlfriend in Get Out. She's good in this. She's good in this too, just like she was in Get Out. She's good in this. Um, Logan Browning is the actress who plays Lizzie. She's good in this too. Y'all might if you guys saw um the Netflix series Dear White People. She's a star of that. She's good in this too. She's good in this too. And then Steven Weber, who he's an actor you've probably seen in numerous productions. He's one of those like reoccurring supporting actors that pop up in different things. He's good in this as well. He's really good. All of that. The acting's pretty solid, even the smaller characters. The acting's solid. Acting solid. They do a good enough job with their roles. Yeah. But Allison Williams, she's probably the she's probably the best performance I would say. Let's see. Okay, let's talk about music, right? Let's talk about music real quick because since this film is based off of real before I jump into music, we got another $5 super chat. This one is from Emilio. And Emilio says, I'm so glad you're still making videos, Larry. Been a follower for years. Stay up, my dude. Thank you. And Emilio, thank you so much for supporting the channel, my man. I do it for you guys. I do it for the faithful. I do it for the faithful and I do it for the patrons. Thanks so much, man. Appreciate that. All right. So let's talk about the music real quick. So like I said, because this film centers on a prestigious classical music school, a lot of the music in the film is classical, right? I'll be honest with you guys. I don't recognize all the pieces, not immediately. So I don't want to misquote any composers. I think there is some Bach in here. There's some Mozart in here. That much I do know. There is some Mozart in here. I'm trying to remember if I don't think there's any Beethoven. I don't think so. I think Bach and Mozart, those are the two I did recognize. Other than that, though, there are some other composers in here. They're pretty good. The classical music selections in this are pretty good. They're pretty good. So if you're a fan of classical music, hey, guess what? Your musical sensibilities will be satisfied. Yes, they will. Okay. Let's see. Now I am going to talk a little bit about cinematography. So what I'll say is this. The cinematography is pretty good when you take in consideration what the budget of this film was, which real quick, I will let you all know what the budget of this film was. The budget of this film. Oh snap! They don't have it listed. Oh man, you know what? I probably got to IMDb it. But I mean, I'd imagine this film didn't cost very much. I am impressed though with some of the locale shooting that was done. Because you would think this movie would cost more than it probably does based upon some of the locale shooting, but I don't think it actually does cost that much. Um, I don't, I don't, I don't think it does. So, but anyway, but outside of cinematography is good. Now we're going to get to probably the biggest criticism I have about the movie. And this is what it does. So the film uses a technique. I forget what the industry term for it is. So My industry friends are throwing their tomatoes and cabbages at me right now. I forget what the industry term for this technique is, but I like to refer to it as the rewind reveal. And what the rewind reveal is, you guys, if you've ever seen, for an example, like the Ocean's films, they utilize this. A lot of heist movies will do this. What it is that we'll see the scene, we'll see the sequence as it's presented to us in the film, and then we'll rewind the footage and play back footage that we never saw the first time to reveal what was actually happening in the scene or behind the scenes, if you will, right? Here's the problem with that. In heist movies, that works really well. Why? Because when they do it in a heist movie, they're showing you how they were actually able to pull off the heist. So they're showing you oh, you know what movie does this? Really well. Actually, they do it one of the best. Now You See Me. The Now You See Me films. Yeah. Right? Now you Is it Now You See Me or Now You See It? The musician, the magician heist films, they do this really, 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 really well, right? But okay, here's the thing. When a heist movie does it, it's to show you how they were able to pull off the heist. It's to show you all of the sleight of hands, pun intended, how the tricks of the trade. That's the point of that reveal in those movies. American Hustle is another one that does a really cool rewind reveal. But when you do it in a film like this, it's kind of cheating. And this is what I mean. Remember, I told you the film is purposefully trying to throw you off. So when you do a rewind reveal in this type of movie, well, I mean, it's intentional misdirection, but it's not particularly good misdirection because you show us a sequence and we have to take it at face value because it's happening in real time in the movie. But then you rewind it and tell us that no, that never really happened in the first place. That's cheating, dude. That's cheating because, like I said, in the heist movies, the sequence that we see initially still happens. It's just they show you the details that weren't available to you. This does the opposite, where it shows you a sequence and then shows you that the sequence never really happened in the first place. Kind of like that. It was only a dream sort of thing. That shit. That shit's fucking annoying. That shit's fucking annoying. And I'm gonna tell you this too. It's actually crummy writing. Whenever, dude, anytime I don't give a fuck what it is. Anytime where you have a full blown fucking sequence of events and then you chalk it up to, oh, it was only a dream, it's shitty writing. It's shitty fucking writing. It's shitty writing. The reason why I didn't use this against the film's writing when I was talking about the writing portion earlier is because it's done for the sake of misdirection. It actually doesn't have anything to do with the main story. It's just meant to throw you off. It's only for flair. It's only for show. That's all it's just to show you a good time. That's it. But when you actually get to the bare bones of what the story is actually about, it's superfluous. It's superfluous. So yeah. So, but that's my only like really big fucking criticism about the movie. Like as objective as I can possibly get on this one is that they do that fucking rewind reveal, and I hate that shit. I can't stand that shit. Unless it's in a heist movie, I can't stand it. So that's the only really big thing I can say. Every other issue I have with the film is just a taste issue. That's it. Every other issue is just a taste issue. But so that is pretty much going to wrap up the spoiler-free portion of this review. So I want to go ahead, take this time for anybody who decides that they want to go ahead and jump off now and check out this film. By all means, actually, I guess what? Guess what? In the comments below right now, let me know if my spoiler-free review was sufficient enough for you to be able to make an educated decision about whether or not you actually, whether you decided to watch it or whether you decided not to watch it. Was this review enough information for you to make that choice? Let me know in the comments. In the event that you do decide to go and check out the film and you want to come back and watch the spoiler portion, by all means, pause it here, check it out, and then come back. And come back, please. By all means, come back. In the words of Greg from Friday, hey, come back. All right, we cool? Now, for everybody else who is still watching, y'all ready for some spoilers, right? Everyone has been told now I'm about to talk spoilers. And I mentioned this is one of those movies where the whole point is, all right, I see one hopping off. I see one. Yeah, this is Misty. Yes, Misty. This is one of those movies where the fun is actually in the blind viewing experience. So you don't want to go into this movie knowing what happens. You don't. I don't think it's as enjoyable if he knows what happens. I'm not going back to this movie. I've seen it. I'm done with it. All right. Oh, my man Brandon Stark. The best I've seen, spoiler free for any movie review. I appreciate that. Appreciate that. All right. Y'all ready to talk spoilers? Let's talk spoilers. All right. All right. So, what is this movie really about? It's a rape revenge plot. That's what it is. That's what we find out that the whole Charlotte's whole thing was about. It's a rape revenge plot. What happens in the film is that it is revealed that the institution, the music school, the music academy that Charlotte and Lizzie were students of, was a cover for a sex cult. And that's why I reference back to that story from a couple of years ago. For any of you all who might remember hearing about this, the Allison Mack thing, right? Allison Mack, who played Chloe on Smallville. Yeah, when the news came out, the story came out that she was, at the head of this huge sex cult, right? For years, for like over a decade, she had been doing that, right? Well, this is one of those sort of similar type of deals where the school is essentially, it's a front for a sex cult. That's not to say that the academy isn't a legit music academy, but I mean, their whole, like, the way in which the academy operates in terms of teaching the students, it's a sex cult. That's what it is. That's what it is. And of course, the students are subjected to all types of sexual abuse, rape, all that type of jazz. And so Charlotte decides after her mother passes that it's time to get even with those sons of bitches. So that's what she sets out to do, and she is able to convince Lizzie to join her, but it took some extreme measures to be able to actually pull that off. And so the two of them conspire to Double O Soldiers in the building. Yeah, he writes that the punishment for getting the notes wrong in the profession was sexual assault. So be perfect or pay for it with your body or beating. Well, yeah, but yeah, exactly. And so that's what I mean. Like they operate like a sex cult. That's what's behind the musical education. That's how they roll, essentially. But Double O Soldier, don't forget this though. It's even bigger than the actual acts that they were doing. Like even the way in which they would brainwash and indoctrinate the students is aligned with sex cult practice. Well, any cult really, but specifically in this example, sex cult practices. Like that is how they operate. That's how they're able to sustain the cult. And it's also how they're able to remain anonymous, like how they're able to not get caught because they have to be able to brainwash their victims. Because notice, even Charlotte in the film, she doesn't go to the police. She doesn't go to the police. And that goes to what I was saying about like the absurdity of the film. There are so many things that happen in this movie that if you're using, because remember, it's contemporary, it takes place in the real world. So if you think about it from a real world mindset, you're like, wait a minute, like, dude, like the lack of police in this movie is the first big giveaway, right? So you're thinking that, there's a lack of police, there's a lack of due process, like this isn't how criminal things are handled in today's society. And so it makes you think that, oh no, it's an absurdist universe because it's a horror film, right? So it's supposed to be like highly fictionalized and things like that until you figure out what's actually going on. And it's like, oh no, the reason why there's a lack of law enforcement in the movie is because both parties are committing crimes. So of course, when what happens to Lizzie, well, she's not going to go to the cops because, well, no, she did go to the cops. Remember, we find out like she did give them she did go to the cops, but remember what happened to her was quote unquote self-inflicted. So but dude, let's be real about this. Had that happened in the real world, even if it was self-inflicted, there would still be an investigation, right? Because you would press charges, you would go to have that person arrested, all that type of stuff. Even if the person ends up getting away with it, there's still due process, right? You have to file the police report. They have to have probable cause. They have to go and arrest you. They have to hold you. They have to detain you at least for questioning. And then, of course, either they have enough charges to actually arrest you and hold you until a court date, or you're released, and then you have to end up deciding you want to press charges, which means you have to take the person to court, and then all of that jazz, right? None of that happens. Why? Because the victims commit crimes too, or they're planning to commit crimes. And then, so when you start thinking about it's like, oh no, this isn't absurdist. It's just highly, highly fucking premeditated shit going on. Because when Charlotte decides to enact her revenge against the Academy, they're not running to the police. Why? Because as soon as they run to the police, all of their skeletons come out the closet. You feel me? And because don't you find it odd that when Lizzie showed back up at the Academy after what happened, after what Charlotte did to her, why is it that the Academy wouldn't seek justice on her behalf? That's the dude. That was such a red flag when I was watching. I'm like, wait a minute, that doesn't make any sense. She's your star pupil, and you're not even looking to press charges. Notice after that happened, Charlotte didn't even bother going into hiding. She went right back to her house. Wait, so she wasn't even anticipating payback. Why? Because if the Academy was to seek retribution against Charlotte on Lizzie's behalf, now they have now made themselves vulnerable because they've brought themselves into a spotlight. They're not trying to be in a spotlight. They trying to stay in the shadows. You see what I'm saying? So hang okay, Double O Soldier says Lizzie was a broken toy. She's no longer useful. That is true. Wait, you're right. You're right. But I'm also taking into consideration their own self-preservation. that they were exercising. So it's both things. You are right. Yes, that is true. But it's both things that they were doing. They were covering their own ass, and they were disposing of what they now consider to be a liability. That's what that was. And if you think about it, ain't nothing fucking absurd about that. See, that's why I gave the film the credit in the writing portion, because that actually is pretty fucking smart. That's pretty smart when you think about it. Yeah. All right. Uh okay. So let's see. What else did I want to talk about in the spoiler portion? I could talk honestly, I could talk about the drug sequence. Real shit though, if y'all are going to check out this movie, check out the drug sequence on its own. It's some trippy shit. I'll just say that. It's that was the point of the film where I thought we were going to do. Okay, I'm gonna tell you what I thought was going to happen. Right? Let me tell y'all what my theories were when I was watching this movie. When we at the beginning, remember what I said at the beginning of the movie where there's talk of a virus spreading in China, right? And then what happens in the drug sequence? Drug sequence, yeah. I thought we were doing like some faculty stuff. If any of y'all who have ever seen the faculty, the Robert Rodriguez horror film from what was it, 80? I mean, not 80, 90. The faculty is 98, 98, 99, right before the turn of the millennium. Um, the one with Elijah Wood and who else is in it? Elijah Wood, uh, John Stewart. Anyway, it's a good movie. If y'all haven't seen it, go check it out. It's a good movie. But I thought we were doing something analogous to that. That's where I thought we were going. And then of course it's like, nope, that's not what this is. This is what it really is. I'm like, oh, you motherfuckers. You sons of bitches. Okay, okay, okay. Um, so yeah. Oh wait, was Usher in the was he? Was he? I think he was. Yeah, I think he was. I think he was. I think he was. Anyway, but cause that's when, cause Usher was like acting like in the late '90s and early 2000s. So but yeah. So all right, let's see. What else do I want to talk about? Cause I'm coming up on 45 minutes. Let's see. What else do I want to talk about? Um, I mean, that's pretty much it. I mean, I talked about the big stuff. I talked about the big stuff. Like I say, everything else is just dressing, right? The drug sequence, that's one of those sequences I mentioned before. It's for the flair, right? It's for the fun. Like, oh, we're making a horror movie, right? I would also say what happens at the end of the third act. So once we get to the climax and we get to like the big confrontation, what happens at the end of that is the same thing. It's for the flair, right? It's for the show. Like that's the point of it. That's like the entertainment, right? And of course, if you're a horror fan, you'll probably get a kick out of that stuff. Me personally, not my bag, but I will at least give the film credit that they don't show everything that happens. They do know when to cut away. Um, Particularly in that scene, because what happens in that scene is that the camera just goes straight into like Charlotte's like face, right? Like it's a close up and all you're seeing is her reaction to what she's looking at. But they don't show you what she is looking at. You just see her reaction to it. Um all things considered, I do appreciate that the filmmakers had, a little bit of taste in that regard. That they weren't going to show you everything. So that's why I said it wasn't like full. Like it's not as, like I say, it's not Saw. It's not as gruesome as Saw. So if you can get through a Saw movie, you'll be fine with this one. You'll be fine with this. I did talk about the last scene. Yeah, that's what I'm talking. I am talking about the last scene. That is the last scene. technically it's the second to last scene, but it's the second to last scene, but the last scene is the reveal of what happened in that scene when you see like the result of what occurred in said scene. So yeah. Okay. So yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. That's the perfection. That's the perfection. Um, if I had to give it a grade, I'd probably give it a C. I'd probably give it a C. Um, it's not great. Uh, but it's not terrible. It's not terrible. It's not terrible. Um, yeah, it's not terrible. It's not terrible. So yeah. All right. So that pretty much is going to wrap up the review portion. Let's go to questions real quick. I don't have too many here. Uh, all right. Like I said, guys, I'm pretty much just doing questions like related to the movie. Um, because I see Dijon got some questions that are a little bit off topic. Um, Dijon, for the sake of time and the sake of brevity, I would save those questions for the Q&A that I am doing next Friday. I think it'll be either next Friday or next Thursday. Is when I'll oh, you know what? Actually, yeah, yeah, yeah. It'll be one. It'll be towards the end of next week. Is when the next one is. All right. Serious. Okay. Uh, Double O Soldier says C plus for the mystery. And then he says rate Lizzie's looks on a 10 scale. I mean, yeah, she fine. She fine. I don't know if I call her a 10. She's a definite 8. She's a definite 8. I don't know about a 10. She's a definite 8. She pretty as all hell though. I'll give her that. She's very she's pretty. Um, yeah. All right, let's see. So I know Misty 306 already left. I'll still answer her question though. Is this the movie that Larry didn't want to watch? Actually, no, that was Scott Pilgrim. That was Scott Pilgrim. This one, because I didn't know what I was getting myself into with this one. So no, it isn't this one. It was Scott Pilgrim. Um, let's see. Let's see. Yes, Trent is correct. I am reviewing his pick next week. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. $5 super chat from Trent. Speak of the devil. Oh damn! Oh wow, that's funny. I just answered Trent's super chat just as he posted it. That are you reviewing my movie next week, Larry? If so, you have my permission to tell the audience. Yeah, yes. Hey, such comedic timing tonight, right, guys? Such comedic time, dude. Trent, I'm pretty sure you are watching in real time, dude. I was literally just answering your question when you posted the super chat. Trent, I tell you what, I'm actually going to come back to your comment at the end of this video, I'm gonna come back to that one. Dejan say she a 7. Dejan, hold up. Whoa, 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 whoa. Hold, hang on, hang on, hang on, hang on, hang on, hang on. Hold up, hold up, hold up. Not. I understand every man has a right to his opinion. I get that. Fully support that. Fully support that. Fully support, Dejan, my man, we got to talk about this. We got to talk about this. Let me blow it up. Say, bruh, a 7? A 7? Really? A 7, my dude? For real? Bruh, 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 bruh. A 7? Seven ain't that damn high. What you talking about? A 7 ain't that bad. A 7? What? A 7? Dude, a 7? Come on, bruh. Come on, man. A 7? Yeah, she does look like a brat doll. But still, a 7, bruh? Come on, that's kind of harsh, nah. Kind of harsh. How about this? She's minimum a 7. 8, okay, 8 on a good day. Well, see, because I think she could hit 9 on her best day. Easy. I think she could hit 9 on her best day. I tell you what, Dejan, based off your comment, I know you didn't watch the movie. You want to know how I didn't watch the movie? Because you find out in that movie. 00 Soldier, tell him. You find out in that movie. 7, my ass. Yeah, dude, but Zoe is like. Zoe is a freaking. Hold up. Zoe is a minimum 8, bruh. Zoe's a minimum 8. Zoe is an 8, borderline 9. Shit, 9.5. Dude, you remember what Luke Cage called Zoe the Godfather Part 2, man? Better than the original. Come on. You know what? This is not the video for that. We going Dejan, next week on the Q&A, we're gonna chop it up. We're gonna chop it up, bro. We're gonna chop it up. We're gonna chop it up. All right, let's see. Any other questions about the movie? Let's see. I think that might be. Oh, this is a good one. This is a good one from Brandon Stark. Do the characters stay true to themselves? Yes. Actually, yes. Because what happens in the film is that of course the instructors at the academy, they're the same throughout the whole movie, right? Because the whole idea of the third act is that it's the final confrontation, right? So they're still doing what they've been doing, right? So there's that. but particularly with like Charlotte and Lizzie, right? So they don't change in like they don't change in the sense that they just become totally different people. Remember, we're talking about characters who at one point in time were actually brainwashed, like they were indoctrinated, right? So what happens is in the course of the move, so because of that, there is like that version of them is what the academy knows them to be. So when they are pretty much like in enacting their plan, they have to keep up appearances. They have to keep the mask on, right? So they're still pretending to act the way they did when they were students. And then in the third act, when they take the mask off, that's when they're finally free to be themselves. But that's not to say that they aren't still the same people, because there's a scene earlier in the film where we get to see Charlotte and Lizzie like alone, like just kind of kicking it. And they're still the same people that they were then, right? So no one is really out of character. It's just a matter of what character are they playing at that time. So, like Lizzie purposefully plays like, oh, she's still the star student, and then you find out like, no, she kind of became wise to you guys. Like she knows the game you guys are playing now, but she's still the same. She's still the same person. So they stay true to themselves. Yeah, they do. Yeah. Let's see. She looks like she smokes weed and meditates in the sun all day. Oh, okay. This one's from Emilio. He says, was this movie a Netflix original? Well, it was released by Netflix. So I'm not sure if like Netflix was the one I'm not sure if it was produced by them in the sense that they greenlit it like it's a Netflix project. Actually, I'm not sure it was, because this film was actually released at what's the film festival? It's is it was it Fanatic Fest? Was it Fanatic Fest? I think. Um Fantastic Fest. It was released at Fantastic Fest. So it's very possible that this was just an indie film that Netflix picked up to release. So yeah, because that happens all the time. A lot. Okay, so for an example, actually, I'll give you guys a really good example. The Full Metal Alchemist live action movie. That's not a Netflix original. That was an original. Like that was like an oh well, shit. You guys know this. Any of like the anime films outside of the Death Note one, because that one was commissioned by Netflix. Like it was greenlit by them. They bought the rights to make that movie. But like the Full Metal Alchemist one, the Bleach movie, those were, in Japan. And it's just that Netflix picked them up for Western distribution. All right. I think okay, yeah. So we caught up. We caught up on all the questions. Dude, thanks so much, guys. Man, dude, this was actually a good stream. Technical snafus aside, man, we got some super chats in the house. We got some good questions about the movie and everything. Dude, thank you guys so much. Thanks so much. Appreciate that. I really do appreciate that. Um, all right. So yeah, so that's pretty much going to wrap up the review. Once again, I want to thank you guys. I want to thank everybody, man. Thank you guys so much, man. Y'all made this a pretty cool stream. Really, really, really constructive, man. I'm feeling the energy. The energy. Feeling it. And I mean, hey, I can't forget this, dude. It would not be dude. This would not be possible. I'm gonna be real with you guys. I know I'm just kicking it, on my webcam in my bedroom. Honestly and truly, though, dude, because even with the COVID stuff and the quarantine stuff going on, I'm still working from home, dude. Fine. Oh, and then I just picked up I just picked up another gig, dude. Finding the time, the energy, the motivation to be able to just spend, an hour on camera with you guys. It wouldn't be possible without you guys' support. So that's why I gotta say another huge shout out to my man Double O Soldier. Dude, he been supporting the channel since forever, dude. Thanks so much, man. Thanks again. Thanks again for the request. Thanks again for being a patron. I got you. Your next two, they're on deck. I got them. I got them. Speaking of which, Trent, you got to send me your review. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna segue over to my man Trent's comment that I wanted to put back up on screen. All right. So yes. I'm going back to Trent's super chat right now. Actually, I'm going back to it right now. All right. So oh, let me blow that up. So hang on. I got to let me blow that up. All right. So yeah, next week I will be doing Trent. I will be doing your request. Trent, let me know, dude. Do you want to get in on the review? Me and you can co-op this review. Let me know if you want to get in. We can co-op the review. That'll probably be really cool. But yes, we are doing that next week. I thought I thought I announced it in the Q&A. It will be The Last Samurai. That is going to be the next week's movie review, The Last Samurai. So yeah, so Trent, if you want, go ahead. Let me know. I'll send you the link to get in on that. The other thing too, though, before I hop off, don't let me forget. You can even let me know in the comments. Last Samurai is your request from March. I need your request for April. I need your next one. Let me get your next one on deck. Because the next ones to close out this month. Next week is gonna be Last Samurai. The week after, I tell you this, Double O Soldier. If you still do you want me to let everybody know what your one to close out the month is? You want me to? Can I announce that now or not? Usually, I don't like announcing stuff too early, but if you're cool with it, I'll announce what that one is as well. So let me know. Let me know. I actually have to rewatch. I have to rewatch that one before I do it. And you know what's funny about that? Something that keeps telling me to go back and I'll be honest, I was just gonna wing the Last Samurai review. Because I've watched that movie. Like, dude, Trent didn't know, dude. I'm a huge that's one of my favorite movies, dude. That's one of my favorite movies. I've watched that movie probably well over 50 times. I fucking love that movie, dude. Okay, yeah, okay, so so yeah, so all right. So I got the okay from Double O Soldier to reveal his for the next one, his next request. So yeah, so just so you guys know, the next two movies, like I said, next week, Trent says he's down for it, so me and him are gonna team up to review The Last Samurai. The week after, dude, we're going to comedy. We're going back to comedy. We're gonna be doing I'm gonna be doing The Other Guys with that's Mark Wahlberg and Will Ferrell. Yep, gonna be doing that one, and that'll be the last one for the month. And then kicking off in May, the first two for May will be Trent, whatever your next request is, and then it'll be the other one, Double O Soldier's next request, which he already told me what it was, but he said not to reveal that one. I think y'all get a kick out of that one though. That one's going to be kind of cool, especially since that one is going to be a first viewing for me, just like this one. That movie I haven't seen yet, so it'll be the first viewing for me. It'll be a first viewing for me. So it's going to be pretty cool. All right. So yeah, we're well past an hour. It's getting late. I gotta eat and then I gotta crash. It's been a long day. Guys, thanks so much. Thanks so much for swinging by tonight. You guys are awesome. Um, as always, like, comment, share, subscribe. If you like this video, like it. You know, give it a thumbs up because that helps. It really does help. I like, no kidding. You know, with the algorithm, the way it works. Like, if you guys do like that, if you like one of my videos, please thumb it up, man. It helps a lot. Share it with anybody. You know, share it on social media. Share it with anybody you think will get a kick out of it. And of course, if this is your first video, welcome. First and foremost, welcome. Um, you know you're successful when white people come watching now. Welcome. Shout out to the late great Bernie Mac. Boy, you know he's successful. White people come pay to see you. But anyway, so if this is your first video, welcome. Consider becoming check out some of the other content on the channel. Consider being a subscriber, subscribing to the channel. And last but certainly not least, if you guys have a movie, if you have an anime, a TV show, anything like that you guys want to see me review here on the channel, or maybe you guys have a topic that you want to see me discuss on Discussion of the Week. Maybe you have a top 5 list that you want to see me talk about on camera. Become a patron. Patreon.com/OAW. I have tiers for all of those videos. I also have a tier for Advice Corner, which is a one-on-one stream with me where we can just chop it up about anything you want to talk about. It doesn't even, you don't really even need to need advice on anything, man. If you just want to kick it, you know, we can do that too. That's available. The collection of the Otaku Assemble Weekly anime and manga review web series, which is actually really an anime manga review, movie review, rant, precursor to what will become the top 5 segment, is actually kind of all encompassing, right? But yeah, all of that over, what is it? It's like over 63 videos, something like that. That collection is available to you as well. I got a tier for that. And then, of course, you know, I do make exclusive content for Patreon, mostly just commentaries, either commentaries on video games or commentaries on movies or TV shows. Because I think, actually, I haven't done a movie commentary yet. It's been TV and OVAs so far. And it's mostly been anime so far. Yeah, it's mostly been anime so far. But even that, it's available. Double O Soldier, bro. You know, if you want me to do that, it's gonna cost way more than $30, my boy. Just saying. All right. And I ain't saying I wouldn't do it. I'm just saying it's gonna cost more than $30. That's all I'm saying. I'll do it if the price is right. I'll do it. All right. So yes, all encompassing, all of that is included at patreon.com/OAW. Check it out. Select the tier. If you want to support the channel, select the tier that that most interests you. And yeah, and your video can be fulfilled, you know. Yeah. All right. So all right, it's time for, I'm just rambling at this point, man. It is time for me to shut this down. All right, guys. Thanks again so much. Love you all. This has been Larry Williams, OAW, Commander-in-Chief. It is time for me to sign off. Tomorrow, don't forget this. Batman, okay, real quick. Batman, Telltale, Season 2, The Enemy Within, hour number 2 is going up tomorrow night. That's tomorrow night at 7. Thursday is the next hour of Naruto Shippuden Ultimate Ninja Storm 4. That one goes up on Thursday. And then this Friday, a new top 5. I got a new top 5 for you guys. It's going to be this Friday. So yeah, that's this week's lineup. Keep an eye out. To my man Demetrius, dude, hit up that top 5, baby. Hit up that top 5. Hit up Patreon. Hit up that top 5 tier. It's $15, but dude, not only do you get your video, you also get, like I said, you get access to the OAW vault. Right now, over 57 videos, right? Oh, and guess what? They're not super long videos either, because that's back when we could only do like 15 minutes. I don't think we have I think all the videos are like 15 minutes, but they do have multiple parts. All right. You get access to that over like 57 videos that are exclusively on Patreon. You get access to any Patreon exclusive content, which right now I got like over, what is it? Over like 7 hours worth of exclusive content, 8 hours worth of exclusive content. And you get a you get an invite to join in on the monthly Q&A live stream, which this month's Q&A live stream is going to be next week. So you get in on that. So yeah, man, patreon.com/OAW. Make it happen. All right. Now I got to go. I'm serious this time. I'm leaving this time. No more comments. No more comments. No more comments. Cease and desist. All right. This has been Larry Williams, OAW Commander-in-Chief. I'm signing off. I will catch you cats this Friday for the new top 5. And until next time, peace. Russell Crowe, roll us out of here.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? Is this not why you are here?